Hi, my name is Abby Novak, and this is my interpersonal communication project for HSCO 508 at Liberty University. In this project, I will discuss my behavioral blend, my barriers, and my plan of action against those barriers so that I can enhance and improve on my communication skills. My overarching goal for this project. How I defined overarching goal is one that both encompasses and culminates a set of related goals. And my overarching goal is to incorporate interpersonal communication skills in my workplace, social life, and home life. I do not want to be someone who listens and communicates well to only my family or only my coworkers, but rather someone who loves everyone, as we are called to. Enlarging the conversation. My definition of enlarging the conversation are the strategies and methods one can take in order to improve on the quality of communication. And as Christians, when we are focusing on enlarging the conversation, we are focusing on better loving God and others. And ways that we can enlarge the conversation are provide people with community in which their identity is developed in a more Christ-like manner, by being genuine and authentic in conversation, and overcoming barriers that impede listening. A little about my background. I am 25 years old and I live in Southwest Virginia. I live with 6 female roommates, so with that comes a lot of different personalities and a large need for interpersonal communication skills. I received my bachelor's in international studies at Virginia Tech and am currently working towards my master's in human services counseling at Liberty University. I participate in the organization of Young Life and work as a social service provider at a group home. In my jobs, I often am communicating and working with teenage girls. I am in the midst of their conflicts, and I often am listening to their problems and concerns. So, interpersonal communication is also very important for my workplace as well as my home life. My behavior blend, in class we took a quiz to find out what our behavior blend is, and our behavior blend can be made up of 4 different characteristics. D stands for active and task-oriented, I is for active and people-oriented, S is for passive and task-oriented, and people-oriented, and C is passive and task-oriented. And what is expected of me is SC, which is passive for both, and then people and task-oriented. And what I actually am, and I see a lot of myself in this, is DS. And some of the qualities of those are, I am both active and passive, and I am both task and people-oriented. I think of myself as someone who is very active when it comes to tasks and doing things and getting things done in a way I would like, but very passive when it comes to people and potentially hurting people's feelings or stepping on toes. I want to take charge but not offend, which is a good summary of what I just said. My vision and passion often clash with motivation, and that it can be a negative of my personality bend. I have a lot of ideas in my head and specific ways I want to get things done, but at times lack the motivation in order to carry it out. I'm a person of steel and velvet. I am a loyal and capable follower, and I need time and resources to get things finished. But I deal with conflict well, which is good in a lifestyle where a lot of people are around me all the time. The barriers I chose are ones that I myself struggle with at times as a result of my behavioral blend. One definition of emphatic listening means being interested in another's needs and listening and understanding. And at times I find this hard because sometimes I'm just not that interested in what other people are saying, and it's hard for me to fake it. But things like that and biased listening can cause us to prejudge people and cause us to hear what we want to instead of what is actually being said. The practice of judging others and refusing to accept them the way they are becomes self-defeated. This can become a barrier to listening when people don't think that you actually care about what they're saying or that you have a preconceived notion of what they're saying. My second barrier is mindfulness. And I think this means more than just being physically present. It also involves being psychologically present. In order for people to be mindful, they must be willing to focus attention completely on one task at a time, which is very difficult in an age where we are busy. We have cell phones. There's a lot of things that can take our minds away from people, but at the same time make them feel like they aren't being heard or important. People often find themselves participating in conversation and events without actually experiencing the moment, as if we would have had we listened mindfully. And my third barrier is expressing and disclosing. One of the traits of my behavioral blend is that I have a hard time being opening or encouraging. And Stewart talks about how to be self-disclosing means to share with another person how you feel about the events that are occurring. And oftentimes sharing my perspective and opinion on things is a lot easier for me than sharing how I actually feel about things. Sharing my feelings is very hard for me. And when we are unable to express and disclose with people, it can affect the depth and quality of relationships as well as the person's perception of reality. And expressing information, if we express information as absolute truth, then that can cause someone to shut down during conversation. I have a habit in difficult conversations of thinking and expressing what I say is absolute truth, and people have wronged me in some way when they do not see things similarly, and it's my job to make them see my opinion on things. My plan of action is specified at my 3 barriers. Empathetic listening means I will be receptive to the full range of characteristics shared by another. And I can do that by being more reflecting and encouraging with them so that they know that I care. And I care about what they're specifically saying. I can be more mindful by accurately receiving what the person is saying and interpreting the whole message in a non-biased way and not letting other things get in the way, such as technology or other things that I am thinking of, but being present in the conversation. And expressing and disclosing, I can do this by becoming aware of how I feel about myself and self-evaluate more deeply so that I actually know how I feel about things and am more easily able to share it with others. My plan of action based on my profession. Social services is a listening-based profession, so it's important to maintain effective interpersonal communication skills in order to make gains with girls. Listening to people rather than being quick to add input teaches people how to solve their problems on their own and work out situations on their own through self-awareness. I would like the people that I work with, the girls and my family members, to be able to be self-reliant and think through situations that they are going through on their own and make good decisions. Another thing I can use is the Talker-Listener card by Peterson. And this card will help me and the girls I work with remember the goals of communication and express ourselves effectively without one person feeling as though they are being heard. Noise pollution. In our lives, we are hindered by our internal and external noises that hinder our ability to be an effective listener. Internal noises can be things such as emotions or thoughts, and they come from physiological and psychological factors. And examples are personal biases or diverted attention if we're thinking about what we're making for dinner or something instead of listening to the person. External noise pollution are just the physical things that get in the way of us hearing people. If we're in a crowded space, we might not actually be able to hear them. If they have a monotonous voice, we might not want to listen to them for a long time. And some solutions to that are giving a person your undivided attention, Be conscious about where you choose to have conversations, especially difficult ones. It might not be a good idea to confront someone in a restaurant where a lot of people can overhear and they might feel attacked. And people feel loved when they are singled out, so make sure that people know that you are there specifically for them and you are interested in what they have to say. In conclusion, I picked out a verse, and it's Matthew 5:8, and it says, "Blessed are the pure in heart. Your perception of people is as much an issue of the heart as the mind, and is something that God desires to be loving and pure. When we have a pure heart, we are going to go into conversations not looking what we will get out of it, but looking what others can get out of it, and that way we can help grow ourselves and others most efficiently." And these are my references. Thank you.